both. So if you guys, let us know. We're going to be talking about the 1999 Matrix, the first one.
The first one.
So any comments or questions you guys have, feel free to type it in. We'll, read to and answer to what we can get to what we can. But I can't wait to dive into this. I just can't. Okay, great. Josie says she sees both of
Yeah, I
us.
can see
So
that.
as
That's
long
good.
as they can see both of us, then I know it's recording properly. Boom. All right. Well, would
This
you
is
like
going to be a
to?
hot take, isn't it?
Yes, yo, yes, yes.
I
Your
bet, I
take
bet,
is a truly hot take.
I bet everyone in the comment section is ready to light their pitchforks and everything right now.
Well, they don't see that, but they don't all know. They don't all know how you feel right now about the
Well, they do
Matrix.
now.
Now, correct me wrong. So your name is Luke.
Luke, yeah, as in Luke
Luke.
Skywalker.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I was definitely thinking it. So yes.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, in all fairness, my parents did name me after Luke Skywalker, so and so yeah, and
Oh,
obviously I'm a big Star Wars fan. I mean, who isn't? Well, especially the original
yes,
trilogy. I'm a massive
yes,
Star Wars fan,
yes.
sci-fi, so have to be named after Luke, right?
Mm, that makes sense.
What's your
That
name,
makes
by
sense.
the way?
Lisa.
Lisa. In all honesty, I'm not psychic, but I actually had a feeling that you was either going to be somewhere. I either thought Elisa, or Alicia. I honestly thought it'd be one of those three, and I was actually right.
Also, okay, I feel honored. So, Luke, you are a movie buff.
Definitely, all my life.
Definitely.
I mean,
All your life.
I come from an acting background myself, as
Oh,
well as stand-up comedy as well. So
oh,
that's kind of where my love for cinema kind of comes from, to be honest.
oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
No, I mean, not many people on this platform do. I mean, there's a few people who know, but not everyone kind of knows that I'm, kind of come from an acting background and stuff like that. And that's kind of where it started ever since I was a kid, really.
Wow. Okay. Is it something that you want to pursue further, or just was like, this is a
Um,
stage?
well, I mean, obviously, like I did it like throughout. I mean, I'm 27 now. I was going to say you can't see me, but hopefully I don't look old
I did look at your
on
pictures.
the.
I did look at your pictures on your profile, so I know what you look like.
Oh, okay, that's good. But yeah, I'm 27. I literally turned 27 a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh, happy
But
birthday.
thank you. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I did acting obviously when I was a kid and kind of did it up to about just before COVID. So that was kind of like the cut-off point,
Mm.
like obviously everywhere was shut, and obviously I was doing the comedy before then, and obviously, when everywhere was shut, obviously that limited my opportunities, unfortunately. So I'd love to do it
Mm.
again though. I've been in, like various productions and stuff like that and plays, and obviously,
Okay.
with the comedy and stuff where I perform and like the pub scene. I don't know if you have pubs in the States. I don't know if you have, I don't know if that's a
Bars.
thing. Bars, yeah,
Bars.
pretty much bars. Yeah,
Uh,
basically
but
that.
you guys have a much cooler name for them. I will say that.
You think, what, pubs?
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. To be honest, I actually prefer bars, but we'll go with pubs.
Okay. Well, I hope that you start to pursue it again.
I hope so. And if I ever do any more comedy gigs, I'll let you know and you can be on the front row.
Oh, I love that.
Just don't
So
heckle me though.
I won't. I
I
won't.
mean,
No.
I've done all that. I have been heckled before and I love
No.
it, to be honest. I
If,
love it. It's fun.
if anything, I'm worried about being used for material.
Oh,
If
well,
you sit too close.
I can't promise that, but
That's fair.
that's fair.
That's fair.
I
I know
mean,
what I signed up for.
the amount of things I've seen on Instagram has probably given me a whole year's worth of material, if I'm going to be honest. Getting into little feuds on Instagram, you know what it's like.
Yeah, it's wild out here.
It's wild. It's the wild, wild west.
So for those of you just kind of joining on, we are talking about The Matrix. Hot Take Tuesday. Okay, Hot Take Tuesday on a Wednesday. I'm not changing the name. I don't care. Um, and let's start first. did you get a chance? I think you did get a chance to check out my, like, I guess, hot take about the movie.
I did, yeah, I did, and like it was an interesting one. I mean, like obviously yours is. I assume that you are a fan of it, like judging by your Well, I just know that you're a big fan, and you're probably not gonna like anything that I say about this film. But that's how it is. I mean, the way I see it, like I think that's the beauty of cinema,
Yeah,
and in that the power of of just having an opinion. Imagine how boring it would be if everyone thought the same thing about everything.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think it's nice to kind of disagree and have healthy debates and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
in regards to your video that you put up the other day, I do agree with it, actually. I do agree with it. Like, with Cypher kind of, he's quite an interesting character. And of course,
Right?
he's played by quite an underrated actor. Like I like Joe Pantolino, I think that's his name, how you pronounce it.
Yes.
And I think Cypher, he's an interesting character. He's not a character that I particularly remember much because I don't really like the film, but I think he was good, like for his part.
So what I will say is like what I try not to do with like the hot take, first of all, find something funny to like our like different perspective because I don't want to just be, oh, this is the worst movie hot take. This is the great movie hot. That's
No,
boring. So I try to
it
find
is.
different things to point out or like, different things to pull from when I do the hot takes. Um, and that was I went back and rewatched the movie for our talk, and I remember I'm gonna say this for you guys. When I went back and we watched the movie, I already knew that he didn't like this movie. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Luke does not like The Matrix. He gave it a 3.5 out of 10. So disrespectful. And I read all of his reasons, and I went back and started rewatching it for for our conversation, and I literally texted him, "I'm 5 minutes in, and I want to fight you because I was like, this is so great. How could you not love it?" And
I mean,
and the
if
thing,
I mean
yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I mean, I lost like a gazillion followers when I posted my
stop it.
review
I
of
thought
The
that was the
Matrix.
joke. That was for real.
I did. I actually lost quite a lot of followers, yeah, and it
Oh
was.
my god.
I mean, I get it quite a lot because the thing is on here, I'm known for my hot takes and my roasts, so I do tend to lose quite a lot of followers whenever I post something controversial. But it's all good. It's all good.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't bother me. It's the way it is. But I can remember as
Okay.
soon because obviously it was movie rep of the week. Who did that
Right.
collaboration post, and obviously he shared my thoughts, and then I can remember the first time your message was, "What the hell is Luke smoking?" I can remember that. That was literally that was literally kind of what kind of got us talking. Was literally from that message
Hmm.
that you replied to. It was like,
Hmm.
"What the hell is Luke smoking?" And I thought, "Oh God, here we go."
So I I mean I'm my my other account name is Real Movie Lovers. I'm much a movie lover fan, right? And I also work in the industry, so I write, I direct, and I film and edit. So
Exciting.
I not only love movies, but I have a respect for all the work that goes into it. So I try to be more, forgiving and find things that I can enjoy in movies and know when to turn my brain off or turn it on and what to
Oh
expect from a
yeah,
movie. I
definitely,
mean,
definitely.
there are exceptions where I'm just like, why?
Basically, Fast and Furious
Right.
or Godzilla X Kong.
Oh, wait.
But
Brandon Movie Review says we call him the king of hot takes.
yes, Brandon, this guy knows what's what. Brandon knows what's what.
Okay, you need to. Then you're gonna. You know what? Maybe you should take over Hot Take Tuesday.
No, I don't want to take your job. I'll happily come back and do. I mean, I've got a whole catalogue of hot takes from films he's probably even more controversial than The Matrix. So I'm sure I'll be back.
Well,
There's enough.
but here's what's funny, right? So I went and I looked, and I'm like, okay, you gave that a 3.5, and I'm looking at other movies that you watched, and I'm like, that got a 4.5, but Matrix got 3.5. I was like,
Which one are you talking about? Which one was did I get
oh,
for?
let's see. Um, I should have wrote it down actually. I'm sorry, I should have wrote it
Maybe
down, but
that's
I
all
was
right.
just like,
Maybe I don't know. I scored Kung Fu Panda 4 higher, but obviously I didn't like that film very much. I'll be honest. I mean, other hot
the
takes that
Matrix
I'm
is
known
better than
for.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
I I hate Fight Club. I hate Fight Club. I
All
hate.
right,
I dislike the majority of Tarantino films
oh, wow,
and Scorsese films,
wow,
and I hated Barbie
I can see that one.
and Oppenheimer.
I didn't see Oppenheimer.
You're not missing much. Well, I don't think you're missing much, but
I mean, it was, it's Christopher Nolan, so I know like it's gonna be stylistic and beautiful, and the story itself is like about the man who created that atom bomb, basically.
hmm,
So I just wasn't really interested in the subject matter. So it wasn't like I was like, I just wasn't interested in
I
subject
agree.
matter because I was like, okay.
I agree with you that, and I'm not, so I'm not an American, and I'm not even familiar with Robert Oppenheimer. I think that's his name. Like, I'm not familiar with that
Hmm.
story at all. But I love Nolan. I love the cast,
Hmm.
but it just was not my kind of film. I didn't like it. I found it really boring. I found it overlong, and it was just like really tedious. Like, all I wanted back was that
Yeah.
time that I lost. But other than that,
Well, I mean, you know, we Americans like blowing shit up, I guess.
you said it. You said it.
Oh, Brandon Movie Review says, I didn't like Fight Club either. I enjoy certain Tarantino films and I loved Barbie. Oppenheimer was meh. I remember all of those reviews you did.
Yeah, I gave Barbie a 0. So yeah, I just did not like that film at all, and I gave Oppenheimer like a 3 or 4.
I really enjoyed the fact that Barbie had practical sets that were um like that weren't CGI, that they had put so much
Oh yeah,
into the production
definitely.
design. That really like won me over, the production design, because it's just I get so tired of seeing the CGI so much. Like CGI is supposed to enhance, not replace. I mean, no, excuse
Completely
me.
agree.
I
Completely
feel
agree.
personally, excuse me, I feel personally that CGI should enhance, not replace. I'll say that. And then Ryan Gosling like stole the show from me,
Yeah,
honestly.
and
So I wasn't
I agree
surprised
with
that
that
he
as
was
well. I
nominated for an
definitely
Oscar.
agree
I
with
was like, oh
that.
yeah, like he, every
Oh,
line,
who
every line. Oh my gosh, he killed it. Um,
Josie loves Fight Club apparently. Yeah, sorry about
yeah,
that.
Josie loves I Love Fight Club. She's not a big fan of Tarantino. Okay, I could see you not being a big fan of Tarantino for several different reasons. First, Tarantino's most of his career is an homage to great filmmaker, to great films that he loves.
Hmm.
He finds a way to input them and make stories around them. So if you're, so there's that. If you're put off by that, which technically every artist kind of steals or is inspired from each other, but like his are much more intricate, like even down to like uh the well, I'll get into that. But then there's the fact that a lot of his stuff is very violent and bloody.
Yeah.
Um, and that's something else that can put people off who are not into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
That's fair enough.
there's the language, which is another factor for other people. So, I mean, I'm sure there are other reasons, but I'm saying those are kind of the top three that I find people are like, Tarantino. Which coincidentally are the three reasons that I love Tarantino. So I guess it was to say about me, but
I mean, I think the one Tarantino film that I do really like is Django Unchained. That's probably my favorite film.
oh my
That,
God,
that's my
that was
favorite one.
not only
Like
not only was it a great movie, but I gotta be honest with you personally, it was therapeutic.
yeah, I mean, that's one way of putting it. I mean, like it's a bit well. Once again, it's too long. That's the main criticism. But I think the performances are great. I like the
Yeah.
story. It's like it's a simple story, but just watching Jamie Foxx just kill all these really horrible people is just so satisfying,
Oh, it
you
it's
know.
good.
And
Just
Christoph
warms my
Waltz,
heart.
Christoph Waltz is just fantastic in
Yes,
that film, you
yes.
know, and Leonardo DiCaprio, like horrible character, but really good performance, you know, and he
So
was
good.
like first time he's ever played a bad guy, like he was really good. But the reason why I don't like Tarantino films is just he seems to they're all so long. They're like over 2 hours, 3 hours long, and
That's because
all
they're
within
epic. They're epic.
well, and all of his scenes, like Inglorious Bastards, for example, which is a film I really don't like. Like that film just goes on and on and on. Like there's that bar scene in the middle of the film, like 20 minutes when they're in that bar, you know, with Michael Fassbender and playing the cards.
Mhm.
It just goes on and on and on. And it's like we could have trimmed off like 15 minutes worth of this, and we would, or even cut that whole scene out, and it would not have made any difference to the film. That's what I think.
So the thing that I love about Quentin Tarantino is his writing and what he gives his characters to say. And even when they're saying a lot of words, it still just really resonates and hits. Um,
Mm.
because like I just love writing and story too. But hold on one second. Let's see. Josie says, I love the oldie but the goodie After Hours. I thought it was Nicole Kidman. Gemma says Tarantino is my second favorite director.
Ah, Gemma.
Um, Josie did like Django Unchained. The bar scene is epic, Gemma says. Josie says that's because Tarantino has a huge ego and can't stop himself.
Yes,
Brandon,
Josie knows. Josie knows.
yes. No, I agree, but I don't hate it.
Preach it, girl. Preach it.
Brandon's movie review says, I personally loved Inglourious Bastards, and the bar scene is one of my favorites. Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I don't even really like westerns, but he made me love the Crazy Eight. Was it Crazy Eight? No, the Hateful Eight. Excuse me, the Hateful
That's
Eight.
it. Yeah,
But
yeah,
um, so here's what I say. I want to get us back on the Matrix because you
yeah.
hated so
Yes,
much. You hated
I
so much
do.
that if I never went back to it, you wouldn't have a problem with it. But no, we're gonna go
We
back to it because I
do.
I read your review multiple times
Oh God.
and I I clipped out some things and want to address some things.
Okay.
Um, so
Shoot your shot.
so we're technically, guys, we're talking about The Matrix, the 1999 original one that I love and Luke hates. So, but don't take it on him. Be respectful, okay? Kinda.
Kind of.
Okay. So okay.
Thanks.
So first of all, do you know that? Now this we'll start with something controversial. Um, the Matrix and the Terminator movie are technically originally connected, and they were the original ideas of a lady called Sophia Stewart. She had created the Terminator, which occurs in the past, and she had created the Matrix, which occurs in the future. And apparently, Sarah Connor was supposed to be the mother of Neo or something. And apparently, she had pitched it or wrote it or whatever, and the studio went and did whatever they want and iced her out of her project. And I know that James Cameron did one, and what you call did another. So there's controversy about where the truth of it, but there has been stuff where she's had receipts and things like that. I don't know if she was able to sue for that, but I say all that to say what you don't like about the Matrix, perhaps her version of it and how she had it connected would have resonated with you if what she's saying is correct, which I personally think she might be right because Steele have definitely stolen stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I like the first two Terminator films, you know, but I'm not a massive Terminator fan. I'll be honest.
Oh, Luke.
They get worse and
Oh, no,
worse. I
no,
mean,
no, 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 no. Yes, after two.
yeah,
Yes.
but the
My
first
favorite
two,
movie of all
Judgment
time, number one,
Day.
will never be dethroned. Terminator 2 of
Yeah, I mean, it's not
all
my
time.
favorite film, but it's one of my favorite films. So at least we can agree on that.
Yes. Yes.
But,
So, okay.
but I was just gonna say that I just think that with the Matrix, I mean, I guess like I've seen it twice in my life, quite recently as well. Because obviously, you
Hmm.
know, I'm 27, so I wasn't born when it came out.
Hmm.
So you know, obviously, I saw it once. I think it was on streaming, and I watched it. And you know, everyone was saying you have to watch the Matrix. Have you seen the Matrix? I was like, no, I've not seen it. I was like, you have to see it. It's one of the best films ever made. I was like, okay. I mean, you know, I love Keanu Reeves. You know, it's the kind of film I would probably enjoy. Like, I love action. I love sci-fi. I love kung fu. I love martial arts. So I thought, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna like this. And I watched it, and I thought, what on earth is this? This just looks so weird. It feels like I'm watching like PlayStation 2 cutscenes, something like that. Obviously, you know, it came out in 1999. I respect that. That's fine. But the way I see it is that if you watch The Matrix now in 2024, it's a bit like listening to a Limp Bizkit album in 2024. What I mean by that is that it doesn't work anymore. It's not as good as listening to Limp Bizkit back in the early 2000s or the late 90s, where like The Matrix. You watch it back then, wow, I'm sure it was amazing. But now it doesn't look good. It doesn't hold up, and it looks extremely dated and just ugly. I think it's just I would sum it up as like being overrated, overhyped, dated, and just straight up embarrassing. Like that's how far I'd go with it.
I don't think I have ever heard someone say so many wrong things in one sentence before.
It's a little
It's
bit
wild.
like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Every sentence you said is wrong.
So, okay. So
We're not
where
even
do I
halfway there
begin?
yet.
Where do I begin? All right. So first of all, um, Limp Bizkit is it's still good. So first of all, I mean you lost right there. It's still good. It's still good. Um, and that's why I purposely rewatched it. I hadn't seen it in a very long time. So like, let me sit down and rewatch this and let me see. I wanted to be like, oh, does he have something with what he's saying here? And
The answer is
no.
no.
Listen. Like some of the CGI. Yeah, I mean, obviously, since 25 years ago, you're
Yeah, I
like,
mean
oh, okay,
I
yeah,
mean that's
that's
not actually
ooh,
that's not
ooh.
really like the main
That's
issues, like
that's
really.
dated. That's dated.
Yeah,
But the story, the characters, like I'll even give you that Neo seems to like sleepwalk through his existence, which I think is kind of part of the whole thing with the character anyway, because you're not really living, and this isn't really a real world. Um,
I mean that's the thing. I mean it has an interesting concept, but it's just written so poorly, and the characters they're all the characters are the same. They all speak in this really slow, serious voice, and it's just so boring. It's like show some emotion, guys. Like you know, and it just everything about and the clothes and you know the costumes. They all wear black leather sunglasses. Like, why wear sunglasses indoors? Like, take your sunglasses off. You know, like they're wearing leather all day long. Like, surely they must smell on like a really warm
I'm gonna
day.
stop you right
You know,
there. They're in the Matrix. They're not
they're in the
really wearing
Matrix.
leather. They're not really sweating.
I see
That's
how
why that
it
works right there.
is. I see
They're
how
not
it
really
is.
sweating. They're not really. And I believe that Morpheus, he loved leather. He loved leather, and he is pretty much the head of that ship. And people, you know what I mean? Like, you know what? That is look. I hop on that. Leather is a look. Leather has always been look. It's still a look. And wait, do you not like X-Men?
I do like the X-Men,
They're
but
all
I
wearing leather.
think
They're all
they
wearing leather.
are, they
Yes,
are,
yes,
but with the
yes,
Matrix, don't you
yes,
think that when, like, even
yes.
from the, even with the, like, obviously, like the poster, just the main poster, like, you look at it,
They
and what
look
goes,
so cool. Okay. Your comment said, "Oh, it looks like an 11-year-old thinks is cool."
yes, which is what I
Well,
was gonna say, which is
apparently
what I
a
was gonna say.
41-year-old agrees with
It,
the
it, it
11-year-old
looks,
because
it,
it is
it,
cool.
it looks like someone's at school when they're like, and the teacher asks, it's like a teacher asked the students like to draw like what they would look like as an adult, and then they draw someone with sunglasses and the black hair and the long leather jacket, and they've come to that. And then the writers of the Matrix is like, yeah, let's do that and let's put that on and make this our film.
Yeah,
That's kind of what it feels like.
yeah,
It just it
yeah.
looks like a PlayStation 2 game
It's
that I don't really
cool.
want to play.
It looks like a PlayStation 2 game because PlayStation 2 took it. That's why it looks like that. See, you're confusing the fact that, oh, it's trying to look like something instead of realizing everything else is trying to look like what it has already established. That's the thing. That's what's messing you up because it came first. And people who watch Blade Runner after the fact are like, oh man, this is kind of copying things. No, 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 no. Everything copied Blade Runner. You're just seeing it later, so it looks like, oh, they're trying so hard. No, they were the blueprint. They
Yeah,
were the
yeah,
blueprint.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure it definitely was the blueprint. You know, obviously it was. You know, there's a lot of scenes, of course, like I see now in other films that was clearly ripped off by the Matrix. And of course, but even like certain things, like in the Matrix with Carrie Ann Moss, like Trinity. You know,
Hmm.
when she does that iconic kick in the air kind of thing, like
Hmm.
yeah, that's cool, but my question is why? Why do that? Like that doesn't add anything to the scene. It's just like it just looks really bad as well.
No, no. First of all, it's like, okay. So you say you like the X-Men, right?
Yes.
Um. Oh crap. What is his name? What is the
Hugh
speed
Jackman?
guy's name again? The speedster?
Oh, Quicksilver.
Yes, Quicksilver. So I believe that X-Men showed it differently than the other one, but Quicksilver, when he is like running so fast that like everything is moving slow and he's just moving, and you see that, right? Did,
Hmm.
did you not like that look, or you liked it?
So are you talking about the Quicksilver from Days of Future Past? You know,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Evan Peter. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good scene. That's a good sequence. I like that sequence.
Okay, so
And
what do you think is happening in that sequence?
well, obviously he's trying to save his friends. He's trying to save Logan and who else is in that scene? Charles.
And
You know, from
Trinity is trying to survive and get out of there. So
but doing
she
like a
didn't
split
she
kick
didn't
or
move that
something.
slow. She moved fast. She was probably moving closer to Quicksilver's fast in that way that because she's out of the Matrix, so she understands the rules that she can stretch in the Matrix. And the two officers, they're a part of the Matrix. They weren't agents or anything yet. So they wouldn't for them, that's what it was like. Like she was moving slow if I'm sorry. She was moving so fast that they slowed it down to show you. Just like Quicksilver. Just like Quicksilver. Why do that? Because that was her style. That was her style. But that's what they're moving that fast. They're moving that fast that they slow it down to show you. So the thing that you are criticizing Matrix for, you will enjoy the exact same concept in another movie that probably was inspired by the Matrix originally.
Potentially, but I like that with film more. And I think it was
I'm not
handled
saying
better.
I'm not saying that you have to like it more than that. I'm telling you, like because you're criticizing that element. I'm telling
Hmm.
you, you criticize it here, you love it over here. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
I,
saying. That's
I
all
definitely get what you
I'm
mean.
saying.
I definitely get what you mean. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just like it's also really boring as well. It's really boring and really slow. Like it's on for like over 2 hours long. Like this could have been like an hour and a half,
Nope,
an hour and 45
nope,
minutes. No,
nope. I just
I mean,
here again. I just rewatched it. Every frame, every frame,
obviously I've
every
only seen it
frame.
twice. So obviously the first time I thought like I was taking everything in obviously on the first time when I watched it, and then
Hmm.
obviously I watched it recently when I did that collab with Movie Rec of the Week, and obviously I watched it, rewatched it then. I kind of thought this film feels like it's been on for like 5 hours. It's just like, well, when's it going to end? I don't remember it being. I think I disliked it more. I mean, that's the thing. Like originally, I was going to give it like a five, maybe like a 5.5.
Hmm.
But then the second time, when I was just watching it, I was like, you know what? I'm I feel like dropping it way down, but this is like worse than what I saw before, so you're just like,
Mm.
just no, just no.
So here's another thing that. Oh, well, hold on real quick. Um, Josie had said After Hours is an old film by the Scorsese from 1985 with Griffin Dunne. Gemma is like, Luke, really? Terminator series is great. Brandon Movies Review says, don't bash the Star Wars at sequels again, Luke. Oh my God.
Yeah, I have a toxic relationship with Disney.
Josie says, wow, I've seen enough of the Matrix and don't think it looked that dated. Agree, still like LB. Wow, what was it, LB?
It'll be,
I don't even remember what we were talking about. The Gemma says the story of the Matrix is great. Really, Luke? Get
really,
get him,
Gemma.
Gemma. Get him. Um, Josie says, "Come on, they look so cool with the sunglasses." That's what I'm saying.
No, no, they just look like action figures.
And Gemma says it's definitely not boring. Crazy Movie Fan says Matrix 1, yeah, too long.
Well said, Crazy
I thought
Movie
we were
Fan. Well
buddies.
said.
Crazy. I thought we were buddies. Movies for Panda says the middle is a bit slower in my opinion. And Josie says, Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think there's a reason why Limp Bizkit doesn't perform anymore.
wow.
And I think that's probably, I mean, well, there's already a Matrix 5 in development, and I won't be watching that.
So right now I'm only addressing the first one. That in this moment. We'll
In this
talk
moment.
about a couple other ones later. Crazy says hashtag Team Luke. Sorry.
Yes, I have a fan. I have one fan.
One fan.
I have one fan,
You
and
haven't lost
it's
all your
Crazy Movie
followers.
Fan.
So now the other thing you had said they did a lot of telling and show not tell.
Yes.
Again, disagree.
There's
The first
so much exposition.
the first act, they barely told you anything. They showed you a bunch of stuff that you're like, whoa, what is going on? What is this? They were showing you so much. They were showing you so much
I'm just
before they
trying to
even
think.
started explaining anything and talking to you.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember if it's in the first Matrix or maybe if I'm thinking of a sequel. I can't quite remember. There's a character. He's an Asian guy in white, and he's like a computer kind of
Oh
character.
no,
And he's
that's like 2 and 3.
oh right, yeah, I thought so because that was going to be another criticism. But then I thought, wait a minute, I don't think he's in the first one.
No,
So
then the
yeah,
first
okay,
one.
I will take back that criticism.
I win one. You guys hear that? I won one. I won
You won
one.
one.
I
Yeah,
won one.
but I still think it is very exposition heavy, and it's just, especially the scenes with Morpheus. It's
Okay.
just like,
Okay. So here's the problem with what you're gonna say. It's Lawrence Fishburne.
I love Lawrence Fishburne.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I hear your argument on that, and I think that I would agree with you if it wasn't Lawrence Fishburne delivering the lines. If it wasn't, like honestly, your criticism in that element, I could totally see. But I think that because it was Lawrence Fishburne delivering the lines, it did not even feel like it did not feel like an overload of information. It was the only time I felt like an overload of information was when it was supposed to be intentional, and that's when like he basically rocked Neil's world, and Neil was like, "Whoa, what? What? Get me out of here! Get me out! I can't! Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" Like that is, I believe, when it was really a lot that he was throwing at him, but it was on purpose. It was like, "Yo, I'm about to." All I promise you was the truth. I'm about to be your whole world right now. Your whole day about to be ruined.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think well, literally just kind of what Brandon just said. Obviously, like him, Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves, they do work well together. And obviously, they're in the John Wick films as well. But I just think it's the way their characters are written, and obviously they have no emotion, and I find it very difficult to connect with any of the literally any character because they all deliver their lines in the exact same way. Neo, Morpheus, Trinity, Agent Smith, they're all the same. They're all on this same emotional level where there's a lack of emotion. There's no difference. It's just all on one tone, and it's just like I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care what happens to any of them. Like if Neo was to die, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's him gone then. Like I wouldn't be like, oh my God. Like I'm not on the edge of my seat because I don't care about the story. And I don't care about the characters because there's no emotional investment. I'm not engaged with any of it.
I was more moved about lines that Lawrence Fishburne said and Weaving, Agent Smith. Um, I will say, right, Keanu Reeves, like again, I feel like his performance of sleepwalking through his life in this makes sense because he's not really living.
Yeah, that's true.
And I will say, Kate Moss, I mean, I love her. Like, first of all, she was such a badass. Her like expressions and talking wasn't a problem for me because it was like, yo, she the one. Don't worry about that. Um, I disagree with Agent Smith and Morpheus. I feel like even though they had this as you say, steady tone, there
Mm.
was still, honestly, there was still engaged. Like someone said, Lawrence was engaging. He was. There was still like this oomph behind it, like this like even with being monotone, they brought it. Like look at Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith, like him and the other Smiths. They're all computer programs, but Hugo, the specific delivery of his lines, the slight, the slight like movement, like whether it was like the way he like moves his neck or like to show his irritation, but trying to keep it together because he is a computer program. He is
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to. You know what I mean? Like even being a computer program, delivering his lines monotone, he still found a way to separate himself from the other programs. You saw he was slightly different and slightly more irritated than the other ones. He did that in a very great way because even when they got away, they were able to rescue Morpheus. The other one, the three of them came out, and the other two were like, "Oh, they got away." And he's when I got up, gripped the rope, and just like, and you were like, "Oh." The other one was just like, "Damn," but he was just like, like it was just so much more um to me. Hold on. So okay, so Movies for Pandas has said Fishburne's delivery is engaging. Gemma said, "Have we watched the same film?"
Yes, we have, Gemma. We have watched
She
the
does not
same
agree
film.
with you at all.
But
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 Brandon
Brandon
does.
Brandon does. Brandon Movies Review says, "I completely agree. I felt disconnected from all the characters."
I've got two fans right now. I'm loving it.
Hey,
I'm loving life.
hey, hey.
And like the action. People say that it's groundbreaking, but of course, like, I respect. It came out in 1999, and of course, at the time, I can imagine watching it for the first time and being, "Wow, I've never seen anything like that before." I do get that. I do get that. Like Avatar, for example, the first Avatar. I was
hmm
only a kid. I was only a kid when I watched that film, and I thought it
hmm
was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life, and it still holds up in my opinion. I mean, well, I think in almost everyone's because it is so visually stunning.
Yeah.
But like with the
Mhm.
like with the Matrix, though, it just looks. As I said, I didn't see it, of course, at the time, but just watching it now, it's just like the wire work looks obvious, the green screen looks obvious, the fight scenes are just really cutty. The way it's kind of executed, it just looks visually sloppy, and the fights just look ugly. They don't look, wow, that's cool, kind of thing. It just looks like people on. They look like puppets or like a kid playing with their action figures. That's kind of what it looks like.
Okay. So you like the action in like X-Men, um, Kick-Ass,
I love
and
Kick-Ass. I think Kick-Ass is
Watchmen.
underrated.
I agree. All the movies that I mentioned, all were inspired in their fight scenes from Matrix.
What, from Kick-Ass?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. Kick-Ass, Watchmen, X-Men,
I've never seen
Wanted,
Watchmen. I've never
Inception,
seen
Kill
Watchmen.
Bill. You should. Inception, Kill Bill. Yeah, all influenced by the Matrix.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like, I
again,
can see it.
listen, I am not here to try to turn you into a Matrix fan or to put it on your top 10. As much as I love this film, it's not in my top 10. It's not. I am just here to say it needs a little bit more respect than 3.5. That's all. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for Luke. You will definitely still have your opinion. I'm not trying to sway you. I'm just trying to bring up enough of an argument to have you think about, okay, maybe some of the elements. I see what you're saying. Maybe I'm not going to be as, like that's what I'm here for.
That's fair
Brandon
enough.
says, Luke and I don't agree on that many movies, but we do agree on The Matrix. I'm a little more positive about it, though. Gemma says, I don't like Avatar. Ooh.
A lot of people don't seem to like that film for some reason. Like that's a funny thing. Like I don't understand people don't like. I love Avatar, but a lot of people don't like it.
I liked Avatar. I like it more than the second
I
one, but I
agree.
didn't dislike the second
I
one.
agree.
You
Same.
know.
Same here.
Um.
Oh,
Oh,
Panda's got a good question.
movies for Panda says, Luke, would Will Smith have been a better lead for you? Because he was supposed to be Neo
He
originally,
was.
and he turned it
He
down.
was. That's a good question. Um, I mean, obviously, when I think of Neo, obviously, I do think of Keanu. Obviously.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I can imagine Will Smith in that kind of role. Because the thing is that Neo, he is such a blank canvas. He is just this. I'm gonna say it, bland. He is this uninteresting character with not much charisma. And Will Smith, he's just got so much energy, so much charisma. I don't think Will Smith would. I can't imagine him in that role.
And you know what? You just made a good point with that, because hearing you say that, I think that's also what made the point of him being the one. It came from such a unlikely place, such an unlikely person, a blank slate, if you will, sleepwalking through his existence. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of, like, the chosen, and it's always never the one, like, shiny jewel in your face.
That's true. That is very
You know
true.
what I mean?
That is true.
So yeah,
But even when
so
he
that
does become the one, he's still really boring.
he became the one at the very end, and then he, like, the bullets were coming, and he turned, he said no, and he stopped the bullet. Yo, listen, okay, all right. Hold. I'm gonna read you some quotes from The Matrix that I freaking love, and these aren't even like all like, oh, famous memeable quotes, but they're just the way they were delivered, just really hit it home for me. And we'll start with this one since I brought it up. When Neo's telling Morpheus, so what are you trying to say, that I'll be able to dodge bullets? And Morpheus said, no, what I'm saying is when you're ready, you won't have to. And then that payoff at the end, you see the bullets all coming, and he doesn't have to dodge, he doesn't have to move. He just, like, holds his hand, and they stop midair and drop. And when Smith comes to fight him, like, he's like, it's like he's bored. Like, he's bored. Okay, He's biting him one hand, bored. Like, I'm like, okay. Anyway, let me read the quote. Let me quickly quote. Josie says, I would love to know your top 10. We'll talk about that in a second. And Brandon Movie Review says, I have yet to see Avatar. So
Brandon, you
get
gotta
on,
see it.
get on Brandon. Get on him. Okay, so here's some quotes. The first one is when is the opener, when we don't really know what we're in for, and Agent Smith shows up on the scene, and he's like, your orders weren't to go inside, and he said, oh no, it's fine, I just sent two people, it's fine. And he says to him, no, Chief, your men are already dead. I was like, oh,
Very cold.
So cool. Um, and then when Morpheus says after he's gotten Neo, before Neo takes like literally Neo's about to take the red pill, and he reiterates, "All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more." Um, that was like, I don't know, just something about that really just sad and resonated for me. Um, how do you define real? Which maybe for you, Luke, would feel more like, oh, the psychobabble that they're trying to be, elevated. But honestly, I really think, especially with certain things now and the way that society is going right now, how do you define real? Like I mean, it really, it
Nothing
hits.
is real.
And then when Neil's getting like loaded up with all the stuff, he goes, like you said, I know kung fu. But the thing, but the
Yes.
part was when Morpheus leaned in. He goes, "Show me." I'm like, yo, what?
Was that actually your reaction?
Yes,
Well, time, every
yes,
time you watch it.
yes.
Well, why do I not find that hard to believe?
It's just. Oh no, like I get very like. I mean, I love movies, right? I get hyped with certain things, especially when something came out when I was younger. And you should have seen me, okay, in the movie theater at the end of Endgame.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
I was
I
up
mean,
out of my seat. I was running up and down. It was crazy. Okay. Um. Let's see. Oh, and okay, so when he says to Neo after they fight, "How did I beat you?" Like, just I don't know the way he does these things, that it's like thinking about it, and you're like, and when I watched the movie first time, I'm like, well, you're a big dude, but then when he says, just why would that matter in here? I'm like, oh snap, you're right, you're right. Like, it just makes me think about it. So that was just a few of a few of them. So
I mean that's the thing. I
yeah.
mean, I don't think there is. There's literally only one quote that I can remember, and of course, it's "I know kung fu." That's. I don't actually remember any other lines. Like when you just mentioned some of those lines, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But of course, the whole "I know kung fu" and then Morpheus like,
Yeah.
"Show me." Like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I like that. But then,
Oh,
but
we found
but
something you like.
as
Nice.
but as soon as when Morpheus says "show me," and then Keanu does this really silly looking stance with the music, and it's just like, yeah, this looks like a video game, a really bad video game right now. Like it was just like we had a cool little line there. I like the delivery from both actors. I know kung fu. Show me. Like okay, okay, and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is cool right now. But then as soon as he does that really stupid little stance, I'm like, you nearly had me. You nearly had me. As soon as he did that, I was just like, that just looks bad. I just laughed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think of Agent Smith as a villain? I mean, you kind of said that you kind of liked him.
Oh, like he was like I, I would put him in one of the I would put him as one of the great villains in cinema history.
Wow, really?
Not
That is
hmm
quite a statement.
hmm but
A
but the thing
statement that I do
is,
not
you don't
agree,
like him.
but
But I say that because of the accumulation of all three of the movies. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So knowing
I
what he
mean,
became,
oh yeah,
knowing
definitely.
what he became, and like yes, but like okay, but based off like just the first Matrix, just the number one, not and not I'm not thinking that there's any more after that. Um, a great villain. I wouldn't say one of the great villains, but once you bring in two and three and what he became, oh yeah, then for sure. Um,
I mean, the
Speaking
sequels
of,
kind of make. I mean, obviously, like I don't like the original. I don't like the original film, and I hate the sequels even more. But I mean, like the sequels kind of make the first Matrix to me look like Da Vinci, the Da Vinci painting or something like that. But I mean, but to most fans, they probably would view the Matrix as the Da Vinci painting because it's such an iconic film.
yeah.
And it is a film, like I can sort of see the appeal. I
Hmm.
can sort of see the appeal, but I don't get the overall love for it. I don't get people giving it 10 out of 10, like full mark and just having that overall love. I don't quite understand it. Like,
I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I would
okay,
not
well,
give it
what
a
would
10
you
out of
what
10.
would you score it as? Two?
Realistically, I would score it.
A one?
Huh?
A 1 out of 10?
No, that's you. That's you, bruv. No, I would give it a 7 or 8. I would. I would give it
Okay,
a
a
7 or 8.
seven. Okay, seven, like, a seven is like, it's good, but not
Mm-hmm.
great. But an eight, like, I would say, like, an eight is, yeah, it's pretty great. Okay, that's quite interesting. I was expecting, like, a nine from you.
No,
Okay, I
7 or
like
8.
it. I
7 or
dig it. I dig it.
um and, and the thing about okay, and they even and him saying Mr. Anderson, the way he delivers that name, that mundane name,
Yeah, I do agree with that. I
epic.
do agree with it, with the way he says it, Mr. Anderson. I do agree with it. But I think Smith as a villain, just because he is just like a robot.
Hmm.
He's just not very interesting. He's
He didn't
just
become
artificial
so
intelligence sort of thing.
he
You know,
didn't become super okay. He was for me he was interesting, but I would think that honestly like he didn't really resonate. He may not resonate until like the second or third one, which if you don't like the second or third movie, understandable. But just speaking to him as a villain, specifically his villain arc from the 1 through the 3, and how he evolved, how powerful he became, and what he was doing, that was next level. I think that's, you know what I mean? Like, and again, the personality thing that you said he's a machine. So there's not really, like, I really still feel like Hugo Weaving found ways of inserting it, just little minor things here and there, subtle ways that he, um, performed
yeah, definitely.
that,
I
yeah,
mean,
give
I
that
guess,
little extra.
I guess the way I kind of compare it is, like, is Arnold Schwarzenegger, from the Terminator films. Like, of course, he's a robot, in the Terminator films, but there is something interesting. Obviously, he is the good guy, so it's a bit of a difference. But, like,
Yes,
he is a robot, but he has this unintentional sense of humor. He
yes.
has, there is a heart there.
Hmm.
Like, you do actually care about him, and you kind of feel like he does have feelings, kind of
Hmm.
thing. But
Hmm.
whereas with Neo and Smith, you don't really feel anything. They're just characters. They don't feel like obviously it's different. Obviously, it's different context, different story.
Hmm.
One's a good guy and one's a bad
Yeah.
guy. But just kind of comparing that, they are still robots, kind of thing. And that's kind of
Well,
why I kind of feel like they just didn't do much to make Smith or any of the characters like stand out and go, I love that character. They may look cool, maybe look cool, but I don't think there's like, wow, you know what? I love that character.
Morpheus.
You and Morpheus. This is like a
Well,
love
because
this is like a love
because
story better than Twilight.
sorry. First of all, first of all, hashtag Team Jacob.
Team Edward. I'm Team Edward.
Oh,
No, in all fairness,
oh,
I've
sorry.
never seen the Twilight films in my life, and I don't plan to either.
Okay. All right. I have a full confession that I'll make right now.
Oh, God, here we go.
I read all of the Twilight films.
You didn't.
I mean, the books. I read all the books. I got my sister into it. I got my mother into it. We were all reading the books. We were all like in it.
How old were you when you did that? Was it last year?
I was um I was older than I would like to have admit, but it was
So
not.
so last week.
It was in its heyday. It was when Twilight had just come out. It was in its heyday. When was that? 2009? Was it? No, no, older than that. Yeah, I actually don't remember now. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 2007, 8, 9, so something like that. I can't remember. So I think the last one came out in 2010, maybe, or 2011.
I feel like I don't know. It feels like it's that. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, no. In its yeah, in its heyday. That's when I was into it. Gemma says I don't really like the second and third films, to be honest. So
That's
I
fair.
have watched two and three. I'm glad I watched two and three. I see what they were doing. I appreciate what they were doing. I don't need to revisit two and three, but I will definitely watch certain clips from two and three, like that car chase scene on the
Yeah,
highway with the
yeah, yeah.
twin thing. Yeah. Oh hell yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Um, and Gemma says agree with score of 7 or 8. I read the books. I was in my 20s. Gemma, yeah.
I mean, I
Listen,
know how old Gemma is, so
let me tell you something. The way they described Jacob in the books, I was like, why is Edward here?
I mean, I don't even. I've never seen those
Older than
films.
that. I didn't even remember.
I don't even know what they're about. All I know is that Robert Pattinson is in like a love triangle with Kirsten Stewart, and that's it. That's all I know.
So
I'm sure there's more to it than that, but I mean, I think
apparently,
those films
apparently,
are pretty bad,
apparently,
though, aren't they?
apparently, I think this is going to tell you all that you need to know. Um, the Twilight series inspired fan
You?
fiction to be
Oh,
made, which is how we got 50 Shades of Grey.
oh God! Don't get me started on that.
I'm, I'm just telling you, like the author of 50 Shades of Grey, like she was, yeah. There we go.
I
All
mean,
right.
I mean, I
I
don't
feel you,
think,
Joe.
I don't think
Joe,
there is a,
Joe, team Jacob. What'd you say? Sorry.
I don't think there is a better love story in the world other than Lisa and Morpheus.
Ah.
Lisa and Morph, I think Lisa and Morpheus are just like, they're like Charles and Diana, kind of thing.
Oh
Like
my goodness.
I want to see a film. I want to see a film directed and written by you, starring you and starring Lawrence Fishburne. I, don't- I will pay top money to see that.
Oh my
I might not
goodness.
like it. I might not like it, but it'll be an experience.
I have no words for you. I have no words for you. Um, so I guess you kind of answered the question. Because I had put a poll out.
Oh, did you?
Um,
Oh yeah,
which I
yeah, you
always
did.
forget.
Yeah, you
I
did. Yeah.
always forget to check the polls before I come on here. I don't know why. I always forget to check them. So I put it on Instagram. I also put it on YouTube. I'll like when the time is up, I'll post both results. But I had said, you guys feel free to answer in the chat. If you would be interested in a Matrix spin-off movie or TV series. And what I meant was a whole different story. Like we're following different characters, right? It's a different story, but it does involve the Matrix and the machines. We're just not having Morpheus and Neo and Trinity. It's not like that kind of thing. And I think answer was hell no. What was it again, Luke?
It was the middle one, which I think was just like I think it was like hell no, or it was the most negative answer, like
Ah,
which was
yes.
that
I
was my
think it
one.
was they should never have made any sequels or
Yes,
something.
yes, I
All
think
right.
it was that. I think it
Yeah.
does work. I mean, it has the potential. Well, obviously they have made a franchise, but like it has the potential to have a good franchise out of it. But it doesn't because it isn't. It's a bad
Well,
franchise because
see,
they all.
but that's what I'm saying. This would be like a whole. This would be the spin-off. So it'll be able to reestablish its own thing because you yourself said that there was some good story here, elements,
Yeah,
but you didn't like
yeah,
how they
yeah,
chose to
definitely.
carry it out. But like there is hope, especially if they're going to be coming away from this whole thing that they did, you know, with
I mean, would you want to see a remake or like a
no,
reboot? You wouldn't.
no, that's why no, me myself personally, no. That's why I said, but that's why I said spin-off or TV series. So I'm not even talking about a remake or a reboot, a spin-off. Like it's
Right,
like,
right.
you know what I mean? We're not trying to remake this Matrix.
A TV
I'm trying to think, what's
series
a
could work.
right?
It could work, just
So
as long as it's
I'm
not done by Disney.
open to I I'm open to a TV series. Um, to spin-off TV series. I'm open to a spin-off TV series. I'm not sure if I would want to be invested in like a movie because I feel like, a movie is a technically is a one and done thing. So you have to cram so much information and understanding into one movie, right? But with a TV series, you can take your time and develop the characters, highlight different storylines, this and that. So I feel like a spin-off TV series has more of a chance, and I would be open to a movie, a TV spin-off series that has nothing to do with the Wachowski sisters, and that's just because of how little they don't want to come back to the project, and they were resentful of the fact that they had to make a fourth one. I understand, and I understand
Well, yeah, I mean, only one of
because
them did what do you call it, the resurrections anyway, didn't they? Um, there was only one of the Wachowski
oh
sisters who made
oh
resurrections.
so they both didn't do the fourth one.
Pretty sure it was. I think it was Lana who
Okay.
did resurrections.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty
okay.
sure. I'm pretty sure it was only one of them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was just the one. Um,
Hmm.
but listen, they were very upset. She was very upset because and you saw it. Literally, there's a scene in there where Neil doesn't want to continue the game, and
No, that's meant to be the Wachowskis.
yeah, it's like, well, they're gonna make it without you. Oh my God, I was like, oh, you petty. I get it though. You mad?
Well, I mean, see, as I said earlier, like they are doing another one now, isn't they? With Drew Goddard, I think it is. I think that's who's directing it.
I've heard. We'll see.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that?
I need to see a story summary and a trailer.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, like Drew Goddard, I'm pretty sure he did the Daredevil series, which is good.
Hmm.
That is good. I'm glad that they are moving away from the Wachowskis and letting someone else have a
Hmm.
go. Kind of see what they could bring. But as
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this franchise, I don't think that I even have any intention of watching it whenever it does come out. I just don't like. Obviously, I'll see the trailer, and
Hmm.
if there's something about it that makes me go, you know what, this
Hmm.
actually looks pretty good. I
Yeah.
doubt it, but obviously, if they do something that makes me go like, this looks quite interesting, then I'll go and watch it. But as of this moment, I have no excitement for it whatsoever.
Okay. Okay. So,
I mean, I assume they're
mm,
going to bring back Keanu again. I mean, this franchise wouldn't be the same without
that's
him.
the thing. Is it a sequel or is it a spin-off?
Or it might be like it might be like a soft reboot. Maybe like obviously Keanu's getting a bit old now. I don't know. Maybe they might bring in someone else, and then maybe Keanu, then maybe Neo can be like Morpheus, maybe something like that.
Mm,
And then someone else can be like, I know Kung Fu. And then Neo can be like, show me.
show me. Oh my, I'm well played.
like
Well
like
played.
if if they did that in the trailer, like if they literally just did that one scene and that those one couple of lines in the trailer, I'd go and pay money to see it.
You go.
If they do that, if they show
Okay,
anything else,
I'm gonna make sure this is recorded because if they
indeed,
do, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out.
yeah,
Um,
they're probably listening to it this right now.
yeah, yeah, they are. That's what they do. So, I'm going to close this out. Thank you so much, Luke, for agreeing to come on, have this
Pleasure.
conversation.
It was fun.
I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope my my outburst and excitement didn't make you think that I was mad or anything.
Not at all, not at all. I
Okay,
mean, like this is the first time that I've ever been on a live before, so this was a fun experience. You know, like
good.
I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, so this is kind of a good opportunity for me to do this. So
Oh, right.
I very much appreciate you inviting me on, and hopefully maybe down the line in the future, I'm happy to come back again and
Oh,
discuss some other
absolutely. Absolutely.
discuss.
I guarantee you're going to put a post about something that's going to make me want to yell at you. I guarantee it.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Oh, Brandon Movie Review said this was a great discussion. I'm so glad I could see this. Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
I really
Brandon.
appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Oh,
I,
MJ.
you know, I got my little Hogwarts wand as well. You know, Spectral Patronum.
Or more like
I'm,
Avada Kedavra.
oh no, no, no.
or
Gemma says,
that.
I really enjoyed it. Josie loved this conversation. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so happy you guys got a chance to come on. Thank you for supporting. Be sure to follow, you know, Luke. And even if he pisses you off what he posts, don't unfollow. Don't unfollow. You know,
Exactly. Well said.
you need people in your life who are going to challenge and have different opinions so you can have awesome conversations. I mean, we don't all want echo chambers. So come on. Brandon movie. Oh, says I would love to be on an episode until the future. Oh, nice, yo. Shoot me a DM. We'll get you on the schedule.
Yes, go on, Brandon. I'll watch it. I'll watch it and support you, buddy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you guys take care. Be sure to follow Luke. If you're not already, follow NXG. And look out for more wonderful conversations, movie stuff, film stuff, project stuff, writing stuff.
Indeed. Well, you know, thanks very much for having me on. It's been a lot of fun, and I look forward.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What?
Um, Moses Noble said he's beginning to believe.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Oh, I love that callback. You know what? Thank
I'm not a believer.
you, Moses. Thank you. Oh man. Yes. Perfect ending. Perfect ending. Perfect ending. Um, well, if one last question.
Ooh. Okay.
Would you be willing to amend your review, or do you still think it deserves 3.5, or you want to actually make it lower?
Ooh. Um, I'm still gonna stick with it.
Okay.
Um, I, I might boost it to a 4, maybe.
Clutches
I might.
pearls. Clutches pearls. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
okay, I'll boost it to a 4. I mean, in all honesty, I was going to go with a 4, but then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a 3.5, but okay, I'm going to go with a 4.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes, you're right, Moses. He's beginning to believe.
Slowly,
Okay.
slowly.
All right. I'll check you guys back here next week for Hot Take Tuesday live on a Wednesday. And that's because originally, well, Hot Take Tuesdays, I drop the video on Tuesday mornings, and then we have my live conversations on Wednesday nights. So Brandon, oh, has he changed? He went up 0.5. Has he changed? Brandon reviews. He's worried that I've changed you somehow.
No one can change me.
No, Brandon. I believe Luke will always be Luke.
Indeed, indeed, one of a kind.
All right. See you guys later. Thank